This is the current issue that I'm having. I have 1 Falcon key, 2 Falcon keys, 3 Falcon keys. Don't know which they're for. House keys, grab them. License. This one? I'm gonna guess this one. I think. I wouldn't say that having too many Falcon keys is an issue, because it's not an issue. I love owning a few Falcons. And I can assure you guys in the future that I'm gonna have a lot more Falcons. This is such a sad sight. This is my car. This is my beautiful clean car. And look how disgustingly high it is. Ooh, okay. In the words of the Stradman, here is a cold startup of my 2008 Ford FG Falcon. It doesn't even sound that bad stock. However, it sure does stink. Good afternoon everyone, my name is Zach, and a couple of days ago you might have all seen that I purchased this 2008 Ford FG XR6 Turbo. So if you guys haven't watched my previous videos, this car was the car that I bought after I upgraded from my NA XR6. I know it sounds really stupid, and a lot of you guys watching my YouTube channel probably think I'm a little bit idiotic and stuff, but my NA XR6 was honestly my baby. It went through everything with me, from moving out of home to, you know, going out on the track for the very first time. It introduced me to all of my friends. It introduced me to the entire car scene. So my NA was a really big part of my life. And so upgrading to this right here is honestly another massive part of my life, where I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to dive into something that's going to be a little bit more fun on the track, that's going to really help you guys in terms of if you guys own turbos and, you know, you can relate to this sort of stuff. It'll help YouTube, it'll help my personal life, it'll help me getting along with my friends, because I'll actually have a car that's just as fast as them. There's so many benefits to me owning this car, and it's, you know, it's all of it's just about happiness pretty much. Now for this video, what I thought I would do is I would do a walk around the entire car, because honestly I haven't even myself spent like over an hour looking at this car. I haven't had the car that long, you know, whether it's before work or whether it's after work or whether it's actually being worked on itself. I haven't had longer than an afternoon to go film a video, and normally most of that time I'm doing stuff anyway. Like, you know, the time I was supposed to show you guys what I picked up for the very first time, and I didn't even have the car with me. You know, like, it's just, I should have been a lot better at doing that. But now I finally have the car, and now I can actually look over it by myself, make sure I take my time, make a list of things that I want to change, and this video is going to be the one that's doing that. You guys are going to be seeing the car for the first time yourselves. I'm going to be seeing the car for the first time and actually taking my time to look around it, see what I can fix up on it, and yeah, let's get straight to it. So I picked up the car last Thursday and it's now the following Monday, so I've had the car for 4 days. Technically I've only had it for 2, but they've been at Jean's house the other 2. So the 2 days that it was at Jean's house, you might have already noticed that it's been lowered all around, and it's also had the camber arms adjusted in the rear. So I'll quickly show you that now. So you guys might be able to see up there, there's the bottom of my XYZ coilover. I don't think you guys will be able to see it past the muffler there, but there you go. There's my XYZ springs there. So now that the car is completely lowered, it's kind of like, the 2 things that I really wanted to get out the way that, you know, I probably can't do by myself is getting the camber arms in and also doing the coilovers. Simply because I'm not, I mean, I am mechanically minded and I can do it, but I want to make sure that all my suspension components and everything like that is done completely properly. So I had them all done by Jean. He's the only person I trust for that sort of thing. But the only thing I haven't done quite yet, and the reason why I'm running 17-inch stock wheels at the back, is because I haven't rolled my guards yet. You guys might be able to see from the last video on my old car check that I made, you can see like there's a little lip that sort of like comes in up here. So with that lip, I can't actually fit my rotors that are actually, if I can open my boot, sometimes FGs don't like boots. There we go. Ooh, I just realized that the struts need replacing. So I got both my rotors sitting in there, so they will be going on tonight, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, then the car will have all even wheels the whole way around. Now the coilovers came straight from my car straight into this car, so the height should be pretty much the same. Alright, so there's some things I've already noticed about the exterior of the vehicle that I know that I want to change. Now I pretty much knew the outside of the vehicle and the condition that it was in from when I went to go have a look at it. So I'm just going to roll through this clip and show you all the stuff that I don't like. So, a couple of things on the front bar that I definitely want to change out. Plates, they've got to go, they're completely illegal. They have absolutely no reflective coating on them whatsoever. The front bar's missing paint, and it's also been scratched fairly heavily down there. And I'm also guessing, because it hasn't been washed in a while, bug stains are going to be all through it. It's not going to be nice. Now the condition of the paint is honestly fairly worn. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I mean, it's already scratched, but yeah, it's not feeling very nice. Could definitely do with a clay bar, but I'll get to that later. Don't know how well you guys can see that there, but there's a little dent there as well, which I don't like. All these exterior plastics are fairly faded, all the way down through here as well. They're actually in decent nick, and they don't have any like fade on them as such. However, they're just like, you know, they don't reflect at all. So with a polish, these would come up really nice, and I actually might think about keeping them, because if I can polish them out, they might look a lot better than my NA ones. Rear bar's missing a little bit of paint there. Fuel door's got a little tiny itty-bitty scratch on it. There you go, you guys can see that there now. It's got a tiny little scratch on it. The rear plate has also faded. It's actually back down to bare metal. Like, that's insane. I never need to get plates anyway, so that's no big issue for me. The rear bumper has also been knocked into, and it's also creased the bumper here as well. I mean, I probably could get a dent puller to pull that out. However, this boot's going straight on the NA anyway, so I don't have an issue with that. Also looks like there's a fair amount of rusting around the wing as well. This is the only mark on the entire car that I'm actually so annoyed about, is the fact that it's on the rear quarter, which means I can't panel swap it, but it's on the rear quarter. And I'll probably get a dent puller to sort of pull that out and make it as flat as I possibly can, and then touch it up. You'd barely even notice. But yeah, the worst thing is I'm gonna know it's there. God damn it. And so are you guys, I guess. Also, all the rubber trims on the doors are all starting to fall apart, and that's just from the sun. There's some bubbling on the back tint, but I don't have an issue with that because I'll just get it redone anyway. All right, let's have a look at the interior condition. Oh, gas struts really need doing. This car was a family car, so as you can see, this is like, whether this has even been like cleaned before, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure Cody has something to get that all out. All the boot is in really nice condition, like all the carpets and stuff, really nice. I do have that plastic cover protector thing in my NA, which I'll probably swap out to this, but yeah, everything looks really nice. All right, so before we go into the interior, I'm just gonna pop the bonnet and we'll go have a look at this. I'm guessing if the rear struts are gone, these struts might be gone as well. Not really, they're not bad. Here we go, here is the whole reason why I bought this car. Turbo engine. If you guys can see down there, there's a tiny little turbo. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So Gene's already come through this engine bay and he noticed that my manifold nuts are loose. Oh, sorry, manifold bolts are loose. That's a typical issue on all the FGs. When they go in for a service, they actually get them to tighten those down. So Gene will be fixing that, that's no issue. Apart from that, the entire engine bay looks like it just needs a clean up, and that's completely fine. Also, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be completely getting rid of this E-rust unit, considering they don't do anything at all. And if they actually mounted it like that, that's, yeah. Apparently this came from factory, but I don't know why it's mounted like that. And it didn't stop the rusting. So that's stupid. I think the best thing about this engine is the fact that, you know, just looking around it right now, I can't see any oil leaks whatsoever. I can't see anything out of the ordinary that you'd normally pick up on once you were sort of looking at the car for the very first time. Looks pretty clean. Like, it honestly just looks like there's a heap of dust build up from like years of the engine bay not being cleaned. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I get back from America, this thing can go in for just a full detail. And I'll tell you guys all through that process. This car is going to be so nice. Alrighty, so now let's get into the interior. So already you guys can see that it's like, being a family car, it is pretty beat up. That's no issue though. Stuff can always be fixed. I have those scuff plates that are on my XR6, which will be going right here. Now with all these plastics on the interior that are scratched due to, you know, the kids getting in and out with school bags and stuff, whether it's the wife with her high heels or something, any family car issue can be resolved. Obviously you can't get scratches out of plastic, however if you have two FGs like I do, you can swap an interchange and make sure that you have the perfect FG. And yeah, so anyway, we'll walk around the interior, see what's damaged, see what's not. So already you can see everything's sort of a little bit scuffed up. You know, there's sort of marks and scratches everywhere. I mean, I'm sure that a good like Bowden's cleaner might be able to get most of that out. But yeah, it's got mats all through it except for the driver's seat. And I was honestly hoping that the driver's seat was going to be the one that's in good condition, because the other one I have, my feet have actually worn straight through it. But yeah, on this car, it's yeah, it's not here. And as you guys can see, there's like bumps and scrapes all over the door and stuff. I mean, that's to be expected of 174,000 Ks. ICC looks pretty good, everything works alright, screen looks all good. There's no scratches over it, anything. No push start, which is okay because I can take that from my car. Shifter, everything's perfect. Everything's good down there. The seats are also in pretty decent condition. They could probably do with a shampoo and stuff. But yeah, there we go. That's fixed that. And you guys can see there's more sort of fading up there of plastics and stuff. Yeah, the back of the seats is pretty worn. That's just from stuff hiding down in there. Yeah, they always do that. So the back seats has some stains in the usual spots. Looks like the seat belts are a little bit worn out from something as well. You know, nothing that can't be fixed. It just needs a really good cleanup, I think. I think this car will come out really nice with a good cleanup. Now, I'm a little bit worried because I just tried to open this. There we go. Takes a couple of tries. Okay. I fixed it, guys, don't you stress. Alright, then we'll get to the driver's side. As you guys can see on the very edge of that door there's like little bits of paint missing. I'll be able to fix that when I do the panel swap anyway. Yeah, needs a bit of a cleanup, as I've said like 100 billion times. Apart from that, it's a really clean car. Like, I would never let my car get to this sort of condition. That's because I'm anal and I have heaps of time on my hands, but for a family car, this is in really good condition. And actually the steering wheel wasn't as worn as I thought it would be either. The whole car's just really nice. Hey guys, look at this. I just realized this. I thought this was actually worn and faded. It's actually just dirt. Look at that. Comes straight up. That's insane. I can't wait to show you guys what it's going to look like when it's all clean. So looking over the car, I actually feel a lot better because I actually thought the car was in a worse condition than it was. Turns out it's not too bad. It looks like most of the car honestly just needs a clean, and most of the stuff should remain the same. And whatever is a little bit damaged, it's not too bad that it's going to decrease the value when I swap it over. You know, it's going to be a really nice car once it's done. So anyway, let's step inside the car and we'll talk about some of the stuff that I'm going to do to it. Now, I was originally going to put this clip into a different video just explaining what I'm going to be doing to this car, but I understand a lot of you guys that actually follow me are around the same age that I am. You're all sort of going from the NAs to the turbos, and or whether you're still stuck in NA, or whether you don't know whether you should, you know, turbo swap this car, or whether you should do something different, or whether you should buy a turbo and swap everything into it. This is just the way that I went. There's so many different ways that you can go, and to be honest, I would love to have just dropped a turbo engine into my NA and just say, right, cool, she's done. I fell into a couple of little ruts and stuff as to how I was actually going to get that done, and just simply stuff like, you know, make sure it's mod plated, make sure the VIN's matching. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with, you know, it's not just as simple as putting a turbo onto an NA block and then just going see you later. I worked it out to be about $4,000 to $5,000 roughly, and it's a lot of time that I didn't have as well. I would rather just get a turbo car, which is just so easy to register and to make sure it's roadworthy, to make sure it actually runs, to make sure I get insurance for it. This was just a lot easier for me just to buy the turbo. And if I sell the NA for the right price, it's probably going to mean that I'm going to only do a turbo swap, technically, for like $2.5 grand. So it's easier for me. Now, the fall off to that idea was the fact that the car, I knew when I bought it, wasn't going to be anywhere near as clean as my car. And I knew that, you know, no Falcon that's on car sales or anything, unless it has like 100,000 Ks, is not going to be anywhere near as clean as my car. And that's not me bagging out every single car that's not clean. That's just me being completely anal. And you know, the way that I treat my cars, I know that I really expect a high quality. I know that a lot of people can't exactly do the same stuff that I do, because I have a lot of amazing connections that do it for me. Not a lot of spare money, but I like to put my money into my hobbies, and I know that a lot of other people spend money on other adulting things that I don't have to spend my money on, so you know, I can afford to sort of lash out and do the sort of stuff that I want to do. Now, I posted this question on Club FG before, and I was pretty much fishing for stuff that you guys might not like about the idea of what I'm doing to this car. And the stuff that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be transferring all of the suspension components. I'm going to be transferring, you know, the wheels. I'm going to be transferring interior stuff like seating. I'm going to be transferring everything, and even doing a panel swap of the car. Now, this was a massive no-no in everyone's books, simply because I don't know whether the paint matches up yet. I'm not quite sure what to do about the NA, simply because the rear quarters and the roof are ceramic coated. Yeah, and that would mean that I have to redo this car as well. The rear quarters and the roof is going to have to be ceramic coated, the same as my other car. However, I'm feeling really hopeful that the paint might just match up between all the panels, and I'm really excited for that, which means that the bonnet, the front bar, rear bar, all the doors are going to be swapped with my old car. That's including all the door panels, all the spears, all the wiring, all the speakers. Everything is going to be swapped into my car. Now, a lot of you guys may think that that is just not worth it. It's just, you know, make this car clean, start fresh, redo it, keep everything about the NA the same. However, I spent $1,700 making sure that car was as clean as it possibly could, coating it, making sure that it's always kept to its utmost full potential that it could be clean. And I really don't want to give that away so quickly. You know, I spent a lot of time on that car, and I really want to make sure that I'm getting what I can out of that car to make sure that I'm happy with this one. So yeah, I read a few comments of people saying this is just an absolute terrible idea. You should never be panel swapping cars. You should never be doing this. It's going to take way too much time. You know, you have your door mechanisms that's not going to line up properly. Your panels are never going to line up. They're never going to be the same color. There's so many issues that a lot of people had with me doing what I wanted to my own car. Now, all I can say about that is that I want to try. I've already done a door swap before on a car. I've done panel swaps on cars. I've never had an issue. And a lot of people said that it's just going to be way too time consuming. And to be honest, I like that. I like the fact that I'm going to be working on my own car. I'm going to be working with my friends. And I like the fact that it's going to cost me nothing more than a case of beer and enough, like probably like 2 weekends with my friends. Like, honestly, it's going to be so much fun, and they're all really keen for it as well. This car is going to be my absolute baby. I'm going to treat it well. I'm going to make sure that it's always going to be at its utmost highest quality that it could be. It's going to look exactly like the NA. And then guess what we're going to be doing, guys? We are going to be doing some go fast stuff. Finally, on my channel, we're going to be going underneath the engine bay, and we're going to be doing stuff. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. I know it was a really boring one, but if you guys want to see any more videos to do with this car before I go on Saturday, let me know ASAP, and I will try and film it for you and edit it and then put it up while I'm actually flying over to the States. If you guys want to see any videos from me over in the States doing stuff with the Dodge Challenger RT or my brother's bug-eye Subaru making 280 horsepower, let me know and I will film them. But as for this video, I think it's all good. I think all this car needs is a good clean, and then I'll be able to come back to it, see what I want to swap out, and we'll work from there. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. You guys have been killing it. I got 76 subscribers yesterday in one day. That's insane. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later.